Exercise number 12. How many people present themselves at the door of your house during the course of each day? Question mark. If we consider the question from the point of view of the woman of the house, we find that only too often during the course of the day is she expected to leave whatever she may be doing to answer the door, generally to be offered something in which she is not interested, for which she has no use, or for which she has not the money to pay. Full stop. But what of the men who make the calls, calls which to the woman of the house merely mean a forced and not important break in her work of running the house, question mark. To the men, these calls are not a break in their work. They are a very real part of that work. Full stop. The question of house to house calling has, like most questions, two sides to it. Full stop. Let us now look at it from the other point of view, and ask ourselves, at how many houses does any one of these men call, only to be met 8 or 9 times out of 10 with the two well-known reply, no, thank you, not today, question mark. He will hear these words over and over again throughout the day, 6 days a week, and upon hearing them, he will perhaps try to change the mind of the person speaking, but if he cannot, he must, with good nature, say, well, thank you, and good morning, and turn hopefully to the next house, where there may be a less strong will or a less hard heart. Full stop, new para. Why does he put himself to so much trouble? Question mark. The work is hard, he often carries a heavy case as he goes from door to door, full stop. He is to be seen on the streets in all kinds of weather, many of the doors at which he calls are not opened to him, or are opened only for him to hear a short no thank you, with no regard whatever to the value of what he has to offer, full stop. He does it because he is trying to make a living for himself, full stop. He wants employment, full stop. He is working often for very little return in money, finding additional comfort in the knowledge that he is employed, that he is standing on his own feet, that he is still a useful citizen, full stop. While it is not in our natures always to consider both sides to a question, we have to agree that, although the calls of such men may cause a woman some small trouble, her work of running the house is very much better than their work of going from house to house, from street to street, from town to town. Full stop, new para. One important fact operates against these men. Full stop. They are forced by conditions to call upon those who least need their services. Full stop. Their calls are usually made where houses are near together, either in our quite near to a town. Full stop. The people in these houses are within reasonable distance of stores, and in addition the tradesmen are most willing to deliver goods, full stop. They have therefore, very little need for further service of this nature, full stop. But there are other people who live in some distant place, somewhere off the important roads and away from towns of any kind. Full stop. These are the people who would be pleased to have men call upon them with goods of different kinds, full stop. But in their case, the distance between the houses is great, and so many miles would have to be covered in going about that the market is not considered to be worth the trouble. Full stop. Years ago, men did call regularly in such places, and they would become none and be considered as old friends. Full stop. Their calls would be looked forward to and they would deliver goods put on order several weeks earlier. Full stop. But newspaper advertising has made these calls less and less profitable, and now it is not often that we meet these men on the road, full stop.